Yo, what's up YouTube? It's TRS or the real Smokey here, and I am finally back. And today I am showing you my mod 13 DPS loadout. It's taken me over a week to release this since the mod 13 dropped, because I've been doing a lot of fine tweaking, and I've finally got it to where it is the best possible DPS for me. It will be different for other people, and you will see why when I go through the gear. But as you can see, they are my stats standing still. I do have a 4k crit mount on at the moment because I get to a perfect 95% crit chance before Baphomet's Might, which is where everyone should be. But let's get into the gear. As you can see, I'm using the Rex Corona as my headpiece because it is one of the best power headpieces, because no fight apart from Orcas lasts 2 minutes with my build. I'm also using the Rex Amicrium because it's just a nice balance of power, crit and defense. And in the defensive slots of all my enchantments, I am using Radiance for hit points, because I quite often run with a Pally as the tank, so Aura carries more damage. And then I'm using the Primal Assault Arms and Primal Assault Feet, because I need to make the armor pin up somewhere. And this might surprise you. I am using the Pilgrim weapons because when the mod first came out, I couldn't get the primal weapons, and since then I've actually spoken with some other warlocks, and they agree with me that the Pilgrim is the best in slot weapons until we're able to get hold of Mastercraft 3, which there is a few available on the market at the time of me recording this. But the set for this is, at the start of combat, your damage and outgoing healing will be increased by 1% for each enemy you face while starting combat, to a maximum of 10%. In T9, there's loads of mobs, so I'm constantly getting like about 6 or 7% damage increase from this. And then when it comes to only facing one enemy at the start of combat, you get a 5% increase. So when you're in the Orcus fight, for the first minute or so, well, for the first 20 seconds or so, you're getting a 5% damage increase. But it's then when the zombies spawn is when things get interesting. There's a load of zombies spawn, and 9 times out of 10, one of them will die in my pillar. And with me facing them all, I will get the maximum of 10% damage increase, which puts it on par with a full group of Mastercraft weapons. So that's why these weapons are best in slot for us, because we can refresh the buff like nothing else. And of course I'm still using the Orca set because that is still best in slot. It's still best in slot for most DPS classes other than Hunter Rangers, because they use a dex set. And for rings, I'm using one Ring of the Beast Slayer with 2 Brutals in, because I worked out the maths and Brutals were better for me for the meantime. But once I get round to upgrading all my black eyes, which are everywhere else in my offensive, apart from my other ring, because they're 2 radiants I haven't got round to swapping out yet, I'll be fine, because I'll be able to upgrade all my black ices, and then swap out the current brutals I've got for more black ice, as well as I'll be able to swap out my radiant for something else. As for mounts, I'm using the T-Rex for my combat power because it's just an amazing ability. I'm using 4k crit, but you use whatever 4k you've got available to you, or if you've got a snail, because quite frankly, I'm looking at getting the snail myself, because to go with the artifact that I'm using as my active, which you can see is the DC sequel, that plus the snail means you can have a considerable flow of action point gain for like 30 to 45 seconds from what I've been told by some compadres of mine. But the other 3 artifacts at the bottom, one of them should be the Shard of Orcus, and then the other 2 will be whatever stats you need to balance. For me, it's crit and armor pen, as you can see on the lantern and the Fion Book of the Dead. And now on to companions. I am still using the Con Artist because, quite frankly, I personally do not like and do not think the Cholton Tiger is worth it. I have one right there called Tony the Tiger. I just did not like it. The only time I have it in my 5 companions is when I'm doing my weeklies in Omu, because you get a weekly cap increase essentially of 18 idols, which is nice. And I'm using the 3 Archons, which are Air, Earth and Fire, because they're just all around nice companions. I could have gone with Alpha Compe, but yeah, again, another companion I did not like. I do more damage with the Fire Archon. Tested that. And I've also got the Siege Master, which I do more damage with the Siege Master than I do with the Alpha Compe, even though the comp is 5% and the Siege Master is 4. And as for weapon and armor enchants, I'm using a Transcendent Elven, which I will be swapping to a Negation at some point. And for weapon, as you lot would have seen, I am using a Transcendent Terror. With the testing I've done, from the few weapon enchants I have used so far, I've only used 3. I've used a Vorpal. I did not like the damage on it was nice, because ideal with my build, 100% crit build. I used a Lightning, which I used the Lightning because the way that they worded it in the patch notes with Dreadfeed, that it would multi-proc, but it does not multi-proc. It only procs on the first time. It works correctly on PC, but on console it's fucked. And then I'm using Terror, and surprisingly I do more damage with the Terror because essentially you do 7% more damage as well as the rest of the group over the 50% crit severity of the Vorpal. 50% crit severity works out at, I believe, about 5 to 6% while it calculates, so this is slightly better. But if you've got a Phaetos or a Dread, I would stick with them for now, and just use whatever weapon enchant you feel comfortable with. But we've all got a personal preference. And now I'm going to go on to feats. The heroic feats are the same as what they've always been. 4 in Energizing Curse, get more AP. 3 in Toughness, because more hit points for AOC. You want Empowered Rituals, which is 6% more damage on your encounter powers, which is, we'll get into them further down the line. 5 out of 5 for casting. Sorry, I can't read that because my disabilities that I have. 5 out of 5 for that because you want the quick cooldowns. 2 out of 5 for the Blood Pack of Canis. Did I say pronounce it? 5% more damage bonus from Charisma, which is no, 2% more to say, from charisma, which is nice. And then 15% crit severity, which I know I could put an extra 3 points into Blood Pact, but these two, you can run either way, 5 out of 5 for that, which it should be nice. It works out around the same amount of damage. Now into the Fury tree. I've gone 5 out of 5 for Daughter's Promise. When a cursed target is killed, you deal 50% of your weapon damage as necrotic damage. I pretty much curse everything, and but the stuff that I curse, I target on, I fixate on, I tunnel vision. So the next target I do is more damage. And Critical Promise. After a crit hit, your next attack will deal 40% of your weapon damage as necrotic. And as I've already explained, I have a 100% crit chance build when my companion is propped. So I'm critting all the time, so I am getting 40% more weapon damage, which is with more damage on top of all the darts. It's just nice. Next one is Gatekeeper's Empowerment. Gates of Hell now deal 25% more damage. I do not use Gates of Hell, and generates 50% more action points for each skill. Don't use that. Additionally, the dot component of Hellish Reboot now deals 25% more damage, which is nice, especially with what I partner it with on my passive abilities. I've also chosen Offering to the Prisoner, which goes in hand with Daughter's Promise, because I know when that's propped, I've got Offerings to the Priest. Offering doesn't show up on your screen, but Daughter's Promise does. So that's an extra 5% damage for 15 seconds. A lot of people overlook this, and they're like, oh, I can't get it to proc. They're not doing something right. And the next one is Hell Touch. When foes deal damage to you, they become Hell Touch for 10 seconds. Foes who are Hell Touch takes 10% more damage. With my playstyle, I am always up in the face, sat pretty much beside the tank, so I'm constantly getting hit. With the amount of life steal I have, I'm able to get the hit points back, but it's 10% more damage I'm doing. How I play is a bit aggressive, but it works. My playing style. The next one is Executioner's Gift. Your at-wills and encounter powers deal 15% more bonus damage as your target's health diminishes. So that's just more damage, which is nice. I've also got Killing Curse. When attacking a cursed target, you deal additional 25% of your weapon damage. Like I said on one of the previous weeks, weapon damage is more damage. So more damage is what you're wanting. And the next one is Brutal Curse. Your Warlock's Curse and your Tyrannical Curse, or Tyrannical Threat if you're an OG Warlock, increases your damage against infected targets by additional 10%. So your Warlock's Curse is a base 20%, and I believe Tyrannical Curse is around the same, which is just not nice, but Tyrannical Curse is just a beautiful power now that they fixed it in T9. Instead of 1% double mitigated damage, you're now doing 25% of the damage you do to the affected target. It spreads. I will be getting some clips of my build in action for my next video, which I will be posting more consecutively after this video, but I've had some personal and family matters that I am not going into detail about. And the capstone is Creeping Death. This affects every power now, which is phenomenal. This did not work with over half our powers before. It didn't work with the single target daily that I use. It would not affect Tyrannical Curse when it's spread. So it's just a nice one. When you deal damage with your at will, they become affected by Creeping Death. Creeping Death does 75% of that damage over 6 seconds. So let's say you hit a target for 1 million. Over the next 6 seconds, that target will be taking 750,000 damage. So it's a nice amount of damage. It's additional damage. And the boons, I'm just going to scroll through them slowly because they haven't changed since my last build. So I'm just going to go through them slowly. PvP builds do not matter. But let me know if any of you lot have actually used any of my previous builds and what you thought of them. And if there was all I could improve on my build. Because I am constantly a warlock that is looking to evolve and get better. I know some of you out there will be saying, oh, get rid of the terror, switch to fair. Because currently fair does more damage, which I have not been able to test yet. But yeah, I mean, I'll be intriguing to hear your thoughts. And what you think of the warlocks in mod 13. Because we are a powerhouse now. We can main DPS T9G. I will be getting a video of me main DPS in T9G very shortly. I'll be sorting that out with some close friends of mine. So that was all the boons, feats, companions done. So now let's go on to the mount insignia bonuses that I use. I am using Cavalry's Warning because I have a legendary mount. If you don't have a legendary mount, I would put Artificer's Friendship on, so it's more, so you get 5% more recovery, movement, action points and stamina gains if you had Artificer's Friendship on instead of Cavalry's Warning. I know not everyone has a legendary mount at their disposal. I got lucky. Next one I use is Artificer's Persuasion. 10% more recovery, movement, action points and stamina gain of my power when I use an artifact, which you will be using your artifact every minute. Shepherd's Devotion, this is just a nice, all round nice buff. When you use it daily, your teammates' deflection, defense, deflection and movement are increased by 5% of my power, or their power. It's not very precise when it comes to that. Next one is Magistrate's Patience. Whenever you perform a crit strike, your enemy will take psychic damage equivalent to 10% of your power over 4 seconds. All allies are healed for 3% of your maximum hit points over 4 seconds. So in the normal group comp I run, I sit about 130,000 to 150,000 power. So you think they're going to be taking an extra 15,000, an extra 13,000 to 15,000 damage over the next 4 seconds, and that will proc multi-times. And then the next one is Protected Camaraderie. Whenever your summoned companion attacks, you gain 3% of your power and defense for 10 seconds. This effect can stack up to 4 times, so you can have this equipped 4 times, but every time you equip it, it's got diminishing returns. So instead of 3% if you have it on again, I believe it's 1.5, then 0.75%, and then 0.37, so it's diminishing returns. And I've got all aggressions in at the moment because, as you saw with the gear, it doesn't have much armor pen on apart from the feet and the arms and the 2 artifacts. Because I'm able to make so much AD, I'm able to get the good mount insignias. But I know not everyone has 14 characters at their disposal. And now, the final thing you're looking forward to. The powers. My dailies I use are Tyrannical Curse and Brooder Hader. But Brooder Hader is just monstrous single target DPS. Now it's affected by killing, now affected by creeping death, because all the broods that spawn, so the little bat creatures. I don't know the best way to describe them. They do a mass amount of damage, and each one of them is affected by creeping death. So it's just damage upon damage upon damage. And then Tyrannical Curse is just 25% of the damage, no, 40%. Cursing them and increasing their damage received from you by 25%. And then you're sharing 30% of that damage you affect the target to everyone within 30 yards. But it actually seems further than 30 yards. The next ones I'm using, as you can see on your screen, are my passive powers. Flames of Empowerment and No Pity No Mercy. Some Warlocks will make the argument that the dot damage of Hellish Rebuke will outdo the all straight up front damage of No Pity No Mercy. But it don't matter which way you do it, because with No Pity No Mercy, with how I'm treated, it does the same amount of damage. But I've got Flames of Empowerment on as well, which is a must, no matter what you use. And now on to my at-wills, which I use Hellish Rebuke and Hand of Blight. Hand of Blight is, I don't use it all the time, but it's a nice little debuff. It reduces the damage of the target that you attack by 5%, I believe, in total. You don't actually set the base stats. No, it does. It's actually there. It's like 4%, 7% damage debuff. And then your main at will is Hellish Rebuke. It's just a heavy hitting power that you have in your left trigger. Well, I have it in my left trigger. No, people have personal preference over left and right triggers. And then the encounter powers, as you can see, I use Fiery Bolt because I have a considerable amount of recovery. I believe when I'm procced in combat, I have 14,000 recovery or around that mark. That is going to be dropping soon because I am going to be getting the Ring of Offensive Action from Makos in the city of Omu. Because I'm only 3 favours away from it, which I will be getting later this evening, which I will be replacing the Beast Slayer with. So it's an extra 5% damage when you, an extra 5% damage for 3 seconds after you use a daily. But with me using the Sigil, I can get my daily back up in, let's say, 4 seconds. So there's like a 1 second cooldown for that brief period. And the other encounter powers I use are Pillar of Power in my Y. Pillar of Power should always be put on the biggest target for the debuff that it offers, as well as the damage it does. Does a nice amount of damage now, not as much as what it did with the Owlbear, but the Owlbear is dead now. You say 75% of it, which is 12, add 4, add 4, add 4, so it's 24%. You're saving 75% of that, so it is a 18% damage buff to all allies that stand within it. So, I play with a 18.2k TR, and he said he could notice the difference when he stood in my pillar to not being stood in. His damage goes up a phenomenal amount. And then the final power I use is Killing Flames. I know some people will be like, why do you not use Head Grasp on single target instead of Killing Flames or instead of Fiery Bolt? Because I've tested it and these two powers do the most damage for me. And of course I am the racial bonus I am is Teflon, because there's just a free fire icon on top of the fire icon I already run So as soon as the target gets to 50% hit points, I get a 12% damage increase. And that is all for this video. So thank you everyone who has been watching, and hope you're all glad that I am back. So until next time, peace.